All right, Roscoe. All right, Roscoe. We just watched.
That's my name.
Oh yeah, that is your name. And we just watched season 2, episode 19 of Rezero. What are your thoughts?
I think I just peed my pants.
Oh shit.
That was that was an eye or a attention grabber. That was all for the audience. Now they're invested. You're hooked in. You want to know what I'm gonna say about this new episode of ReZero, huh? You're waiting on bated breath. It was okay. It was good. I think this is the first episode I in a long time where I haven't been fully confused.
Yeah, my initial thoughts of the episode, I was like, man, they did my man Beta Goose wrong. They Kratos him. They Kratos him so hard.
Yeah, they just man, like no, it, they didn't even like you kind of knew that like okay, this person has an effect on reality, but I didn't know this girl had the Sharingan. I didn't know she could do genjutsu.
She was that is like when she started doing that stuff, I was like, man, this person would be the worst, right? Like what a manipulative tactic.
Nobody, how are they not gods? Tell me how these witches are not
Hey,
gods.
hey, okay. Maybe when I said that statement earlier, I didn't know there was a person that could literally had the, I didn't know there was a person that exists in this world that had the power of narration. They didn't tell me that. They might be gods. I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah, narration, man. Like what the fuck? Can she just return from the dead too?
It
Like
seems
I don't. Does she just be like? Is it just like, yeah? And then this person killed me, but psych,
it seems
I'm
so.
back alive.
It seems so. She's just like that shit didn't happen. Retcon. She retcons harder than Star Wars.
I swear, if it turns out that like this is like Roswell's waifu, I'm gonna be like super annoyed.
So I'll briefly summarize the episode, and then we can go into like our like more of our thoughts. But so this episode starts off exactly where it ended last episode. Emilia is in front of the gate, the seal, and Pandora is waiting for her. Pandora is like talking to her and telling her to like give her this key, and you figure out that Emilia has a key that she can only see and use, and she has to like really imagine the key for it to happen. And Pandora, pretty much in the nicest way, makes this tiny kid decide between an ultimatum. And she's like, you could either, have no one get hurt and I'll just leave, or I'm just gonna keep fucking shit up. It's your choice, kid. So yeah, they have the discussion. Emilia, kind of like reflecting on all this stuff that we learned about like how everyone puts emphasis on promises, keeps her promise to Mother Fortuna, doesn't use the key on the seal, and it seems like right as she makes this decision, Pandora's gonna do something pretty drastic because she seems like she's striving to do something pretty drastic, and then Mother Fortuna comes out of the woodworks and throws more ice at her, and she is wrecking Pandora, but Pandora is not dying. This keeps going on or whatever, where Pandora is just getting constantly killed by Mother Fortuna, but it's not working. She's just popping back up, and
She literally has the power of God and anime on her side.
man, I love that one. Oh, it's like, don't fuck with me. I have the power of God and anime on my side. uh, yeah. So yeah, she's doing that, and she's also like changing herself to make her look like other people, to make Mother Fortune listens. That's like a super interesting thing that this character's doing. Is like she's trying to talk to the characters. So she makes it pretty clear that like killing her doesn't do anything. Like, she's always like, oh, just calm down, we could just talk about this and all this other stuff. But that happens for a while, and pretty much Mother Fortuna has some time with Emilia. She tells her that she's proud of her for keeping her promises. Get like a little heartwarming scene or whatever, and then Bitosu comes out of the woodworks, flying over, ready to murder someone. Right? Got ready, got his hands ready. He got them hands ready. He's gonna put his hands on this girl, and he sees Pandora. He's ready to fight, and he puts a hole right through that witch's chest, and she falls down, and she looks like she's dead. And oh, in shock, the person that has been ducking death for the whole episode is not the person that he just obliterated. It was actually Mother Fortuna. So yeah, Beetlejuice like pretty much uses his hands and like blows a hole through Mother Fortuna, and this pretty much ends up killing her. Beetlejuice, he starts freaking out, and this is where you can easily see like this is what changed him into him. Pandora comes over and pretty much says like this was gonna happen no matter what, but the most important stuff is that you did it out of love, and that's what's important. And I guess she kind of just wins him over that way. Betelgeuse is a broken person, and he is what we see earlier on in the show. This kind of crazy, broken, insane character. In that same scene, or around that same scene, Emilia gets to talk to her dying mother pretty much. She spouts off stuff about saying like she's sorry that she couldn't. She was pretty much saying like she's sorry she was a failure. Sorry that I failed my sister and my brother-in-law, which we still don't know who those people are. Emilia kind of comforts her, saying like, you know, she loves her, she loves Mother Fortuna or whatever, and she gets to gets some type of peace before she dies, or at least gets to say Emilia's name before she dies. And the eye thing happens there again. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But that scene happens. We figure out where Emilia gets her like hair clip. It is from Mother Fortuna. When she dies, she takes it from her. After Mother Fortuna dies, Emilia stands up, and you know, proceeds to fucking destroy this Pandora chick multiple times. We kind of get to see how powerful Emilia is in a real way. Like she's doing like these ice flowers that come out of people and like freezing people on the spot, and pretty much Emilia's using all this power, and it's literally freezing this whole force. As this is happening, Pandora's just continuing to talk and continue to reappear and saying like, hey, you know, if you keep this up, you're gonna go to sleep for a long time, you're gonna freeze the force, and it's never gonna be unfrozen. Only if someone else is as strong as you can unfreeze it. Emilia, you know, being a kid and being angry just because, you know, her mother just died, just keeps, you know, murking this girl.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but this correlates to a scene where Pandora pretty much blocks Emilia's memories. She was the one that like blocked her memories from the beginning, and Emilia continues to release this power that freezes herself into a chunk of ice, and freezes the whole forest and everyone in it. And that is the end of the trial. Echidna and Emilia have a back and forth, a conversation that we'll talk about more later. And she is ready. She finishes the first trial, and she has 2 more to go. And Emilia's still sitting in the temple when we're done. The last bit of the episode switches over to Subaru and the gang. Izumare, the two Izumares are tired. They have to go back. Subaru gets Rem to help them back to their space or whatever, and Garfield, Otto, and Subaru go to see Roswalt. They go to see Roswalt, and Roswalt, He's all clown face now. He's in his clown uniform and stuff like that.
He's got his war paint on.
Got his war paint on. And pretty much conversation kind of comes down to like saying like, hey, Alto is like was not foretold in Walsworld's book or whatever. He was supposed to be a non-factor, but he seems to be having this huge effect on what's going on. And pretty much Otto gets his wish of living an impression on Roswell. And yeah, so even though it's not exactly what Otto wants, Roswell says like, yeah, I'm not gonna forget your name. You are like a person that I will never forget. Even though it comes off way more of as a threat to me.
It's a threat.
It's like it's way like I think you said this before. It's like it's way more like, yeah, I'll make sure I'll have 4 assassins kill you next time this happens. But also gets his wish. Roswell's not gonna forget him. He has left an impression on Roswell.
Yeah.
And the last thing that happens in this scene is Subaru tells Roswell to surrender. And that's where it ends.
What? Okay, first off, you know, in anime, wearing a clown makeup really is a battle armor.
Yeah.
We gotta think of all the scariest motherfuckers in anime. All wear makeup. All wear clown makeup specifically. Ahsoka, Roswell, and that one dude from D Gray Man. All clowns.
Yeah. The main bag from D grade. Yeah. You don't want to fuck with a clown in anime. They're normally stronger than they appear.
Yeah. Not only that, they will constantly explain the power of their bungee gum, which has the properties of both gum and rubber.
Oh, really? They have those two properties. Why don't you explain those properties again as this fight's happening?
Yeah. 2. Man, he's really walking around here. I've talked about this before off mic, but it just seems like he's walking around like he's still like Yu-Gi-Oh, and he's got a trap card somewhere. You're like, I place one card face down and end my turn. You might as well just give up, Yugi. You're not ready for my blue eyes white dragon.
Yeah, I guess. I think he's just more confident that he has friends. But I don't know. Like, I still, there's still a lot that Subaru has to do, and I don't think he could do any of it, really. Right? Like he's not gonna be doing any of this. He's definitely gonna have other people doing this for him.
Like, all your friends, I mean, they're pretty strong, but like, I don't know. Actually, I think this is actually a really good match. Now I think about it, he probably does have a plan. Now I think about it, I think he has a pretty good matchup. If he knows about Otto's power of communicating with animals, I wonder if he's gonna use that to try and like counteract the Beastmaster or the Magic Beast Master's abilities.
I can see that, but I don't know, man. Like Guts knife woman, that cuts people's guts out, has not taken many L's, man. Every time people think she's dead, she literally kills them.
Yeah, Ursula is no joke.
Yeah, she doesn't die, and then she stabs people's guts out. What a terrifying duo. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he's planning. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into predictions, because like I have no idea where it's gonna go. The only other thing I would want to mention before we talk about anything else, I said this before, but in the opening, so we got a new opening this episode. I feel like the opening kind of reveals too much. It feels like it reveals too much of the story. That's my only complaint about it so far. But it's I think it's still a pretty good opening. I liked the other opening earlier this season better, the one with the Echidna like doing the butterfly thing or whatever. Because I feel like it was still like very in theme and like matched what's going on, but without telling anything or telling too much. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here. In this opening, there's a specific couple of frames where you get to see eyes of characters. So it's like Emilia, Subaru, Rem, and Beatrice, I believe. And each one of these person's eyes has like another character in it, right? So, kind of going. I've been saying this like for the last couple of episodes, but I believe this is supposed to represent the person that's in a person's eyes is normally what represents like a precious person to this person or whatever, right? So in Emilia it's Subaru, in Subaru it's Emilia, but in Rem it is like a figure that you can't really see, like you don't understand the figure. I think it's Walsrot, and in Beatrice it's just like another like outline of a figure. To me that figure looks like Subaru.
Wait, was this was in the OP?
Yeah, this is an OP. I can send you a GIF of it on the
I
Discord.
think I kind of remember this. You said, were you talking about were you talking about, you said Beatrice?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, yeah, man, that is really weird. Beatrice has really attached herself to Subaru at this point.
We don't know. Like it was a blank outline.
I think I kind of remember it. Definitely,
It looks like Subaru to me.
yeah. Although it could be, I don't know, it could be in a resume or something, but I don't. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. There's the GIF of it.
Oh no, that definitely looks like a Madara. It's definitely a Madara.
But yeah, I just think that's an interesting thing. I really like the way to display like, this press is like how who's presses to each characters by this small like little cue. And I really picked up it on early and I really like it. But yeah, that's the only thing I had to mention about the opening that caught my eye. Do you have anything you wanna talk about?
Did it seem like there was a specific moment where Pandora is addressing young Emilia, where it sounds almost like she's addressing present day Emilia,
Hmm.
where she says something along the lines of like, yeah, I'm sorry we had to pull you away from this thing, like you had to go like over here. Like it kind of sounded like in the last episode where they were talking to where when Emilia was talking to the Witch of Greed, and she was like, "Hey, I know you want to stay here, but we have to go to this next part over here because this part's more important to the challenge, to the test." And it sounded like she referenced that in the conversation. That's what I took from it.
Hmm.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm wondering if she, like, if that is the case, does Pandora's like powers just like, I wonder if what I'm wondering is if she might show up later on because she has such an effect on reality that like she can also be manifested in the simulation as well.
Hmm. Well, yeah. Well, like even she does like kind of promise that she's coming back, right? She's like, hey, I hope that like idea of you keeping your promise like stays in your heart. And then she's like, I don't want you to be mad at me next time you break out this ice, right? Um,
Hmm.
so I think she's coming back. And like I have a theory that I don't think is real because like I still think that Puck is Mother Fortuna. But like what if Puck is Pandora?
What?
What if she is like this person she's just doing it to kind of like manipulate Amelia. I don't think this is a real theory, but I was just like I thought I had like that thought just cross my mind.
That is really out there. What is your evidence for it?
She said that she doesn't want her to be mad at her when she breaks out the ice, and the first person that meets Amelia out when she breaks out the ice is Puck.
Well, that could just meant like when she breaks out the ice and like eventually like finds her.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not backing this theory. I don't think it's a real theory, but it did cross my mind. I still think that Mother Fortuna is Puck. or I think she's going
Hmm.
to be Puck. But like I was just saying, like, oh, that would be. It just crossed my mind when I was like, what if that's true? What a mind fuck would that be?
Well, if she's Puck, and she's the beast of like the Armageddon. Who is her sister?
Wait a minute, who are we talking about? Mother Fortuna?
Yeah, if Mother Fortuna is Puck, and Puck is like the beast of Armageddon, basically. Who is his mom? Who is Emilia's mom and dad?
I don't know. Maybe just the Witch of Envy. But I don't know if that makes sense, because why would the Witch of Envy get Subaru?
Yeah, it's everything is like coming closer together, but also nothing makes sense.
Yeah, I still can't tell. I still can't tell. But yeah, I don't know. I just found that interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's just Pandora's like natural way of like controlling the narrative. Well, not controlling. Yeah, we're literally controlling the narrative, right? I think she might be able to break those boundaries. But I don't know. Like, I her powers are still very unclear to us in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Um,
like how much of a god is she? Also, like, what I'm wondering is like, it seems that the witches aren't gods in the sense that like they haven't been here forever. They're not eternal. They seem to have like some sort of beginning.
oh, I think they're just like regular people. They can die. They're just like extremely thick. I don't think they're like gods if they're gods okay, I'm not going to consider them gods. They are just regular people, but they're extraordinary. They have extraordinary powers, right? Like witches can die, right? We already know witches can die. And if Amelia is a witch, they can be born, right? They're just like born like regular
Like,
people.
except Pandora.
We don't know much about Pandora. What do you mean?
We know she can't die.
Well, was, when you have the power of narration, would you ever decide to die? That's a loaded question. We just skip on it. But
They're not gods. We know that. They seem to like we know that Mother Fortuna is at the very least way younger than Beetlejuice.
yeah,
And if which must mean that half elves aren't like eternal, or they're not like they're old, but they're probably not super old. So we can stand to reason that whoever Mother Fortuna's sister is is probably also subjected to the same, like they're around the same age, and they're around that they're like they're not as ancient as Beetlejuice, which is weird if Beetlejuice seems to be like a worshiper of the witches. The Witch of Envy is Lady Fortuna's sister.
yeah. But yeah, and like like it's yeah, it's there's like we're having strings, but it's hard to connect them, right? We know there's these connections, but it's hard to like make it things like that time frame is like
We have no grasp of the concept of we have no grasp of the timing of this world,
yeah, that
because we don't know how long Amelia was in the ice. We don't know how old Mother Fortuna is, and we don't really know like really anything outside of the 3 months or so that Subaru's been in this world.
yeah, that's the thing, right? We don't know any history, and we barely get like any real history about this place. And there's like so massive time gaps that is hard to place anything in, right? And then Subaru's powers makes it even harder because even though like it's been a very short amount of time, the character has been here for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's time
Like
is
he had enough time to learn the language or learn the writing system, but not enough time to figure out what the hell is going on.
yeah. Well, it makes sense. Like if you can't read, you can't read any any books about history.
But you can ask questions. Like
When you were in that hotel, would you want to be asking questions? Asking questions didn't lead to anything good in that mansion. It's like that saying, why are you asking all those questions? Making statements, assuming. Oh man. But yeah, I think it's an interesting thing. One other thing that I want to move on to like to talk about real quick. I'm really digging this new Amelia kinda or like this kinda outlook, or not outlook, but like I would say like digging this new like posture or whatever. She seems unfazed by a lot of this brutal teasing by the Witch of Greed, Echidna. She's not letting her get to her. I think earlier Emilia would be more apologetic and ask for like forgiveness from Echidna, but she's not like letting her get to her, even though Echidna's saying like stuff that's kind of like not true, but also very like put in a very mean way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
She's super unbothered.
yeah, and interesting thing. I don't know what's gonna lead. I'm hoping it leads to a more like let me think about it. Amelia has been like an innocent character for a lot of this show. I want to see what happens when she's like not an innocent character, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like she is, if we're going based off her words, she is a witch, and witches aren't bad people, but they are definitely like they seem to definitely fall into that like road of like the worst actions are paid off of good intentions or whatever. It seems like Amelia's transition to a person that's like this person that's like really apathetic seems in line of like what the witches seem to do. Like it seems like a lot of the witches care about, they're human, but they have like flaws that make them care about only certain stuff in like very particular ways. And I'm wondering if Amelia is like transitioning to that. Maybe this is just like a a thing that is like realized because of her really understanding her power and how strong she is. But yeah, I don't know. I just dig this like transition of this character. This character still has obvious emotions because you see her like break down um, after the trial, looking at some of the words. I don't know which word that she like started crying about when she was like looking at or whatever, but I don't know. She just seems like she's turning into this like tougher, scarier character, and I'm interested to see where that's gonna go. It doesn't seem like Amelia's gonna be the damsel in the distress anymore.
No, if anything, the season might end way quicker than like probably we're expecting. If we could get a if Amelia figures out how to use her powers, I don't think that even Ursula's really stands a chance.
Mm, yeah, I think, and I think this kind of like goes on to this another theory that I was thinking, where it's like Puck is was like Puck was Amelia's limiter. Yeah, so like yeah, I think it goes on. I'm thinking like Puck was kind of limiting Amelia in a way, and that's why like she was like so powerful in this contract or whatever. But I think that's a weak theory as well.
It seems to be supported. I'm still on that theory.
Mm.
That
Uh,
seems to make the most sense.
do you know what Amelia started crying about in like when she was like looking at like that writing in the wall?
No, it just seemed to be like whatever. It just seemed like to be sort of like one of those like things like, hey, do your best. I believe in you. I
Combate.
think that's what it said. I think there were like they had captions on there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if it had even like more significant meaning. But yeah. Is there like anything else specific you want to talk about this episode?
I'm wondering what Pandora whispered to Beetlejuice. So there was a scene like pretty much that happened towards the end when Emilia has frozen everyone and everything, and it's only for some reason Beetlejuice, maybe because he's a spirit, or maybe just because he's like I don't know, supposed to be strong. He's not frozen, and Pandora's God, so she's not frozen either. And Pandora whispers to him something in his ear, and is like, "Hey, come along, follow me." Just kind of walks away. Like he look, I think he looks back. I think he looks back at her. Seems like to have some sort of regrets, but just continues to walk.
But we finally get that classic laugh.
Yeah, and it's a drastic change from like going to like trying to kill Pandora to like joining her. So I'm wondering if like maybe she's promising him things like, you know, she killed Pandora, not Pandora. She killed Mother Fortuna, but she also is God, so she could just bring back uh Mother Fortuna if she wanted to.
Ooh, that is an interesting thing. What if she promised him that like if he listens to her, she'll bring back Mother Fortuna.
I wonder if that's how she gets people into the cult, because that could also explain some things about Roswell. If like you're working for someone that like can pretty much bring people back to life, or like I think that's a reason enough to explain some of the more psychotic episodes of both Beetlejuice and Roswell. Or Roswell could just be super super hardcore. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word that's not simping. Um, stricken over Pandora, or just like really hardcore follower.
Well, like, is there like a connection between him and Pandora? We know there's definitely a connection between him and Greed right now, but we don't know for sure for with Pandora.
We don't know. I don't know that. I'm guessing.
Mm,
Um, because we know he has some sort of affinity towards someone,
yeah,
and he's not. And we know that he's not the Archbishop of Greed,
yeah.
and he serves someone. He's doing all of this for someone, to the point where he is willing to cast down his life. And he seems to regard his life in much the same way that Pandora regards her life.
Hmm.
Like, he has no problems getting eaten by a pack of rabid, insatiable bunnies.
Yeah,
In the same way that Pandora seemingly doesn't mind getting peppered with many icicle bullets time and time again.
yeah. I guess I can see that. I think it's still I think his connection is still just the Witch of Greed, but and I think it's just like I think it just is with Echidna, but you know, we will see.
Do you want something that's funny?
What?
Uh, this is super ironic considering what happened to Beetlejuice, but Fortuna is actually the name of a goddess, a Greek goddess, and she is the personification of luck. What irony for her
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
to like go out the most unlucky way of all.
Yeah. 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 That whole scene, but Beetlejuice or whatever, is really interesting. Yeah, because like he was super hard about killing Pandora and just almost completely flips. And I think your reasoning might be a good reasoning why he might have done that. Because like he does gets to see her power firsthand of like saying like she can reverse stuff. She can reverse problems. But yeah. Yeah, I just find that an interesting switch to character. Uh, is there anything else in this episode that I want to talk about? Is there anything else that you want to talk about this
Uh,
episode?
why is there such a harsh difference between uh crazy Beetlejuice's chin and regular Beetlejuice's chin? Have you noticed that? Like he has the wrinkled Beetlejuice has like a square jaw. He looks like he literally looks like he's got a crimson chin jaw. Meanwhile, like young non crazy Beetlejuice has like is just like the standard like pointy chin.
He when he went crazy, he started smashing his face and a whole bunch of stuff until he got a flat jaw.
The only reason that is the only most likely possibility. But yeah, I don't really have anything.
I guess like the last thing I would say would like Echidna says like the other two trials are ill-fitted for her, what do you think these other two trials are gonna be? Because like I think it's gonna be, based off of Subaru's experience, I think the next one's gonna be present, and I'm guessing based on the theming, the following one is gonna be future. Are we gonna get a glimpse of like how things might turn out in these next coming episodes?
I don't think that they're gonna have the same thing Subaru has had, where he's seen every single version of the present that could exist.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen either. I think it's gonna be like another. I think Akinna's gonna attempt to show her something terrible present day that Emilia uh is like kind of correlated with or whatever, and it's probably gonna just be the snow people, but the people frozen in ice or whatever, they're still
Hmm.
being frozen. But like I'm guessing the third trial is like showing your future, and I wonder if we're gonna see that, and I'm wondering what that's gonna entail.
Hmm. I wonder if the future is gonna be the main sort of like transformative catalyst for Amelia. Like we know from like the movie and from just generally everyone's outlook towards her is that just her being alive is a threat to the world's existence.
Yeah.
So definitely one of the futures is for sure going to be an apocalyptic future
Hmm.
where she has to watch everyone that she cares about die.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like I think because Amelia is switching out of this like damsel in distress into like this more strong character. I wonder how that's gonna affect her relationship with Subaru, right? Because like Subaru is going to die. He's gonna die soon. Like it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? Like I wonder, if like did we just trade out a puck apocalypse for Amelia apocalypse every time Subaru dies?
Mm,
Like anytime Subaru dies, like Amelia might like freak the fuck out and destroy at least that person that killed them.
maybe.
And Subaru is super fragile in this world because everyone else is just like ridiculously stronger than him in pretty much every way.
Yeah. What sort of predictions do you have?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess we can move into predictions. I guess. I think that Subaru, Garfield, and Otto are going to have to make a trip outside the mansion while to they're gonna have to make a trip to the mansion while Amelia's doing the second and third trial. And I think Echidna is gonna deliberately make those trials long to waste Amelia's time because she hates her so much. I think like Amelia's gonna immediately go into the next two trials or the next one trial or whatever, and a lot of the next episodes gonna be with Garfield, Otto, and Subaru going to the mansion, and to the town, saving the people in the town first, probably, or and then getting Rem, um, Garfield's sister, I forgot her name, Frederica, and the other maid out of there. I think they're going to have to fight the assassins, but I don't think they're gonna be able to defeat them for real. I think they're just gonna be able to fend them off. Since their target's not Subaru, I think there's gonna be a more of an emphasis of a big scene with Beatrice and Subaru, and I think it's gonna be like I don't think we're gonna get to it next episode. We might just get to the beginning of it, where I think Subaru's gonna convince Beatrice that he is that man, that guy.
Hmm.
What are your
Yeah.
predictions, Roxco?
I think my predictions aren't too far off. I think they're going to definitely make it to the mansion. How I disagree is I think at least for a certain while having Beatrice and I want to call him Natsu, but that's not
Garfield.
his name. Yeah, having Garfield drag Neil there is gonna be able to put them a little bit over the edge. I think they're gonna have an arc sort of thing between them. Maybe they're probably gonna have like a team fight against Ursula. I do still believe that Otto was Otto's abilities as like a beast whisperer are gonna like try to come in the handy, like to offset the magic beast user's abilities. I don't know how well, summoning, asking a squirrel to help out is gonna deal with those like dangerous bloodhounds, but who am I to say anything? Unless he can summon a giant whale to counteract the other whales, I don't see really how he's gonna be much of help to anybody.
At least one of these squirrels are gonna come out and tell some mad gossip about someone.
Yeah, you've been cheating.
But yeah, I think that is it. Thank you, Roscoe, for joining me and talking about more Rezero. I can't wait until the next episode and see what happens.
Yeah,
Um,
we shall see.
yeah. And if someone's listening to this, congratulations, you have beat the algorithm. Um, you're a really cool person. You have literally beat some statistics, and you should give yourself a pat on the back. If you are watching the show around the same time we are, leave some comments below about your theories and what might happen. And yeah, thanks again for listening.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, or just comment what your favorite part of the show was for this episode, or what your favorite part of the show is, or what your favorite part of the stars are in the sky or in the universe that call upon us at night into our dreams and whisper beautiful, sweet nothings, and sing the color of roses.
Oof, that was a lot. I don't even know if I could type up all that.
I just literally ran out of interesting things to say, so I just made something up. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Again, thanks for listening, and take it easy.
Take it easy. Have you seen that graph that goes like it's the GameCube intro but an unemployment graph?
No.
Be ready. Clap.
Oh, what?
You missed it again.
You know, there's things called.
All right, 1, 2, 3. You keep getting off track. Focus. Nobody. Focus.
I think I got the last one. I did clap the last
All
one.
right.
All right.
1, 2, 3. That was off.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Good enough.
Did you clap at all?
Yes.
That was a weak body clap.